All right, welcome back, guys, to McMarketing 101. I'm Chip McCarter,
Christy Ogle!
and we're with the Edge Biz. This is the sixth video of the training, and we wanted to come and talk to you about another very important piece to a business, in my opinion, and Christy's opinion.
Yes.
But it's having a website for your business.
A website?
Yes, having a website for your business.
Makes you a legit business.
Yes, and ranking that website on Google, which would be search engine optimization, which we will refer to as SEO throughout the whole video.
Yes.
Yes, it's so important though. Chrissy, you've been in business for a few years. What's been your journey with the website?
So in the very beginning, I did a GoDaddy website. Mm-hmm. And then I realized that, well, I really didn't know a lot about coding and that kind of stuff, optimizing the website like you did. So in 2015, I got my first website, and then I let it sit there for 5 years.
Which is what majority business owners do. Majority of the business owners will build a website, put it up, and they feel like they just either fix their business or it's about to blow up, or they just end up, and they usually just end up bitter.
Yeah, I just put it up and I left it there, and then I started playing with it, and by the time my website girl looked at it, she's like, Christy, what the hell did you do to the website? I was like, well, we probably should revamp it because Google changed its algorithm. So we had to change it to optimize the website, which was a big thing a few years ago, so that Google would crawl your page and pull to give you more of an SEO ranking. So we did that, and now I have a new website that was launched in 2019, and I work on it and continually update it every month now.
Yes, and the leads that come from your website, what stands out about those leads compared to, for instance, because I'm sure you've probably done like Home Advisor or Angie's List. What stands out about these leads from your website?
So Angie's List, Home Advisor, Red Beacon. I mean, there's a slew of them out there, right? Yeah. Those leads go to 4 or 5 people that advertise with Thumbtack or Angie's List or Home Advisor. And then that customer goes to the cheapest person. When people go to my website, I have real people on it, which is important. In the beginning, it was just cartoons.
Yeah, well, Home Advisor, and they're the first ones to always send you emails, phone calls.
Yes. So, like, I've changed my website to have real people, real customers, real jobs that we do, real verbiage that the customer is going to use. And then I have a contact form and a chat box that actually comes to us. So those leads, we close about 75% of them, whereas those lead generation websites, you close 10% or less because they're always going for the cheapest person.
Yeah, it's about the bid wars. It's an exclusive lead that is looking for you specifically, which is not necessarily what comes with Home Advisor and all those other lead generation places. That's why your own website becomes your number one lead generator.
Yes.
That's what you want it to become, and that takes ranking it. And there's so much that's involved in SEO and getting your website ranked. But once you get a website up online, you have to then focus on getting it to page 1. And really the focus starts before you put it up. You want the on-site SEO to be on point, and that's the content.
Yes.
Big SEO tip, you want at least 1,500 words on your home page and 250 to 500 on all the other pages. And that's because Google's bots read words. Like that's how they tell what you're doing, how you're doing it, where you're doing it. And that's what puts you in the searches, because they want you to be in the correct search, and they want the best to be at the top. So they find ways to figure that out. So content, make sure that you also use contextual content on there. Make sure that you reference the city and state you're in.
Yes.
Make sure you reference the niche you're in with the city and state tagged to it. There's so many different ways to do that.
What is contextual content marketing? I know you breezed kind of over it, and then I knew what you were talking about, but I want them to understand.
Yes, so contextual content marketing, it's just using context clues that would be that everybody around you would understand, like city landmarks
Yes.
in the picture, or even mentioning the city. Mentioning the city in the paragraph, that's contextual. Mentioning the name of like a famous building in the city, or the football team that's in your city, the college that's in your city. Bringing something that's not necessarily a part of your business, but something that a lot of everybody else relates to in your community
Yes.
into your content.
Yes. So, like, we live in Waco, Texas, so we use the Baylor Bears.
For sure.
We'll use the suspension bridge. We use the Alico building. We use Magnolia, even though we're taking the name back for Chip.
Yeah.
Like, we use all these things because in our local businesses, people see that we're local. So when they get a website guy, they're not getting one from Madagascar, right? But they're getting local McCarter marketing. And he talks about things in the community, and he's a local business owner. They're the ones that drive the local community.
For sure.
So people are more likely to use people that use this contextual content marketing. Content marketing's great, but if you're a local business owner, you want to use your local area to drive people to come to your business.
For sure. And Christy had already brought it up about her website, but at the top of each page on a website, this is crucial. You need to have a click-to-call phone number, and you need to have an email submission form up close to the top on every page, not just the home page, on every page. Nowadays, people want results immediately. They want to act immediately, and you want to be able to give them that option, because having to go to the next page or having to go to a contact us page to contact you might not be you might lose their attention span, just by 1 second. I think that 78% of people that search on Google do not go past page 1.
Wow.
And so you take that onto your website, and you can look at, your analytics of your website when you have them up, and see how long people stay on each page. And you'll see, man, the home page is where it's all mostly going to be at. So you want them to be able to contact you, though, no matter what page they land on. So you have that across the board.
Do you know what the average attention span of a human being is?
It's seconds.
7 seconds.
Yeah.
Do you know what the attention span of a squirrel is? 9 seconds.
Really?
That's what we're competing with.
It's horrible.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Squirrel. So he's right. Like, you have to get their attention, and you want them to stay on your page longer than 7 seconds. So you better have something on that first page that's interesting.
Yeah.
Something people like to see on websites is people, not just stock photos.
And they can tell.
Yeah, they could tell. They want real people, real project, real services or products that you sell. You want real stuff on the website. And you want to, when you're building out the content on the website, you want to have content that your customers are interested in, not what you're interested in. Fall in love with your customers, not with your product or service. And then market it on your website. And like he said, use words to describe. Human beings like stories. Look at the Bible, best sales book in the world, by the way. How do they do things in the Bible? They tell stories. That's how human beings learn, is through stories. So tell stories, put videos, put specials, put all kinds of things up on your website. But one thing I learned from doing it in the beginning by myself, hire a professional. And that contact page is so important. So when I got the new website in 2019, it was 2020 when I got the new website. I had them put this contact form in this chat box on my page, or on my website. That website was $6,500 with the first 4 submissions that came in paid for the website.
Yeah, I believe it.
It's worth it.
Yeah, for sure. And this is when it comes to return on investment, having a website on page 1 of Google, I would argue, is the number one ROI in any business anywhere, because there's consistently people always going to be searching. They're always going to be searching, and they're always going to be calling. All the way from the top to the bottom on page one gets leads daily on Google for almost every niche and every little, even the wild card ones, like there's always money going through Google. So getting your website up and live is great, and you want to make sure all the on-site SEO has been tackled. Now, whether you need to reach out to a digital marketing agency and have them help you with that, or have them do it, or whether you need to go get more specific trainings on this stuff and you want to do it yourself, you can always reach out to us. We will have those trainings coming down the pipe, but for right now, reach out to the local digital marketer, right? Reach out to the Edge. We can help you, and Christy and I can answer these questions for you. When you get your website live, though, off-site SEO is what's going to get you to where you want to be, and that's completely different ballgame. That's when you have to find somebody that knows what they're doing and is willing to teach you, or you're willing to pay. But again, the return on investment on page one Google is hands down the best.
Yeah, because that's where they go. That's the phone book of 2021 is Google. So that money you used to spend on your phone book ads, the hundreds or thousands of dollars, turn it into your SEOs and your website, because that's where people are looking for you nowadays. If you don't have a website, you're probably not in business, not for very long.
And a lot of people, one of the first questions people ask you when you tell them you're a business owner is, oh, what's your website?
Yeah.
Or hey, how do I find your website? And then, in all honesty, you lose a little bit of that trust right then when you say, I don't have a website yet, we're working on it, or it's under, it's just like the business card, you should probably have one just because.
Yeah, and when you're working on your website, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Nope. That's one thing I didn't mention in that Facebook training is you don't have to have it perfect. Just do it. People screw up all the time. I put out advertising sometimes on the Facebook page that I'm like, oh shit, Chip, that was the wrong phone number. I put my other business's phone. He's like, oh, Chrissy, that's okay. We're just getting it out there. Like, it's okay to be imperfect. What is it that you say? Imperfect action?
Yeah, take imperfect action. I live by those two words, man. Imperfect action. You should always be willing to take the action, whether it's perfect or not, if you know that it needs to be done. The easiest analogies is like a logo. People get stuck on those way too long. And the name of the business, things that really you shouldn't be stuck on, really. It's not that big of a deal.
You can always change the logo. You can always change the name if you need to.
Yes. But the websites, you have to have a website. It legitimizes you across the board. Now, when it comes to incomplete or imperfect websites, one of my websites right now that's producing leads daily, weekly, if not daily, is incomplete. It's not a finished website. I put it up a few months ago on the back burner, didn't think about it, started bringing in leads. It's still bringing in leads, but that's because I put it up correctly. But it has copied pages, like 3 or 4 of the service pages are the exact same as the homepage because I haven't changed it yet. But it doesn't matter though. It's still making money. So that person that's sitting there stressing, every I dotted and every T crossed, and is missing all this money that's coming to me, who just threw up an imperfect website.
Yeah. So if you wait for perfection, you'll never get it started. If you're looking to start a business and for it to be perfect from day one, here's the news. No business is perfect from day one. Look at Amazon, look at Starbucks, look at McDonald's. Yeah. They still make mistakes on orders to this day, right?
Oh, yeah.
Perfection is the enemy of profitability. I want to say that again. Perfection is the enemy of profitability. When people say, but Christy, you're a perfectionist. When you do a video, it's perfect. No, it's not. I can go through those videos and count the million things that I did wrong, but I don't because I would never get anything done. Yeah. Perfection's the enemy of profitability. Imperfect action, execution.
Yes.
Will get you what you want in life. Knowledge is not power. Imperfect action is power. Oh, that's a good one. You can steal it.
Imperfect action. It is power though, because you're doing what most people are not doing. and that's taking action. That's why you're here. That's why you bought this training. Now you just have to implement it across the board. Google profile, Facebook page, website, and ranking that website to page 1 of Google. Because I promise you that right there will scale your business to the next level if you're a solopreneur.
I do want to mention before I click off of here, Google Ads.
Yes. So Google Ads, especially when you get the website up, Google Ads is owning a website on page 1. You can pay to run these ads, and all that's doing is the page 1 of Google for all the searches in your niche. They're getting some of those clicks to go take away from the other websites and go to yours since you're paying them. So owning a website on page 1 is the equivalent of paying Google $500 to $3,500 to $10,000 a month on ads, depending on your niche and what you have. But that isn't to say if you have a website up that's not on page 1 and you want immediate returns and you have the money, start running those Google ads until you get to page 1. And even once you get to page 1, then you have 2 spots on page 1, one being paid for and one that's already paid for.
Yeah. And when you live in rural communities, which I know a lot of you on this training are, you're not in mega cities like New York and LA, and maybe you're in a small town like Hewitt, Texas, outside of Waco, Texas. Not a lot of business owners, even though there's 200,000 people in that county, a lot of business owners are not paying for the Google ad space. So pay to play.
Yeah. And you can set your prices on there too. It's just not as low as Facebook.
Yeah. You can put $20 a day or $30 a day in Google ads and still get a good return on your investment. I put up to $350 a day in one of my businesses, but no other business owners is using that keyword. So I really only pay about $20 a day, and I'm number 1 in that area because nobody else is paying to play.
Yep, exactly. And I've had a couple different niches that the same thing happened. We were paying for ads because we weren't on page 1 yet, and it's the same thing, But ultimately, though, knowing that that should incentivize you to want to have a website on page 1 for all your searches, because it's people are paying thousands of dollars for it.
Yeah.
Why not own property, your own real estate on page 1 in your niche?
Ooh, that was good.
Yeah. That's what I do. I own virtual real estate, so that's the best way I put it.
That is awesome. So that's a little bit about website and SEO with our Ask an Expert here.
Yeah, there we go.